guys, Cat Demon 43, and I'm back with another episode of The Letter. Woo! So yeah, you guys on this recording have the newest episode up basically by yesterday, but I've come to the realization that when trying to do more recording stuff, and I'm also still dealing with all my writing and work and yada yada yada, that if I can at least get maybe 1 or 2 videos up a week, I think that'll be good. Cat meowing at me. I also, hopefully, figured out the whole issue with my microphone, because I had to do some testing and all that kind of stuff for the past little bit, just to try and figure out a good sound level, because I realized that my voice sounded rather soft in comparison with my new mic, which, over Christmas, my mom got me a new headset for Christmas with a bit of a soft padding at the top. So, hopefully it doesn't hurt my head. But, last episode we finished Ash's story and we're now on to Luke's. And I have questions. So does the cat, who was meowing. She wants attention. Anyway. Okay, so, with all that said and done, let's go. That was a poor Mario impression. I'm sorry. But, before I do this, I'm going to read Luke's thing. But I will say that hopefully if I can try and get 1 or 2 videos out a week, I can try and be a lot more consistent. That's my goal. Because, starting out really ambitious, trying to get a video out almost every other day, that kind of killed when I first started trying to do this, which was about a year ago now, which it says a lot. Everyone seemed to be dealing with burnout, and I just did the bad decision of trying to do everything instantaneous, which I'm like, no, I should take my time with this. This is something I should take my time with. So, yeah. But hopefully with this and writing my stories and such, I don't know, maybe I'll make a video talking about doing a stream of writing my work. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting. Get some feedback that way. But, yeah, let's find out about Luke. Because I am very curious about you. Okay, so Luke Mitchell, Lucille Mitchell Wright. Right, that's what Hanna called him at one point, giving out his full name. And his birth date is August 2nd. He's a Leo, 31 years old. Same age as Hanna, I think. Yeah, same age. Okay. Height, 5'8". Occupation, president and CEO. Nationality, British. Religion, atheist. Raised Anglican. Education, high school dropout. Oh. Privately tutored. Oh. Okay. Likes, bread pudding, dogs, wine, and absinthe. Piano playing, daffodils, money, women, and power. I'm not surprised by that last bit. Okay. Okay. A prostitute's son. That was... Huh. Okay. Prostitute's son. He spent his childhood roaming the streets, begging or pickpocketing in order to avoid home. Home meant a too-drunk mother and her equally drunk clients, some of who would take to beating the child out of anger if he so much looked at them the wrong way. Jesus. That meant he was always in trouble, in one form or another. Nothing was done to correct it until, in a sober moment, his mother found out about the abuse and promised to take better care of her son. Well, that's good. At least I hope. Luke was happy for a while, but his mother's bad habits led to an early grave and left him orphaned until his biological father, a businessman with no legitimate heir, sought him out. He was trained to inherit right enterprise, but along the way got mixed up with illegal activities. That put the company in a bad spot after his assistant ran off with a large sum of dirty money. Well, bankruptcy would have been inevitable if he hadn't married Hanna. Okay. I feel like there's some information that we're missing about it. Also, is it just me or is the page really torn here? Hold on. Is it like that? Oh, no, it's like that for everybody. Okay. Never mind. That's interesting and also really kind of sad. Like, I'm not, like, I'm making fun of anything. Like, I mean, a person's gotta survive, no matter what. If a woman's gotta turn to prostitution, she's gotta do what she's gotta do. I'm not knocking that. I'm not, like, bashing, saying, oh, he's the son of a prostitute. No, I'm not doing that. You know what? Like, what people gotta do to survive, that's an admirable feat, and it's just, I feel sad that, the only thing I really feel sad about is the fact that his mother was almost always drunk, and the fact that her clients would hit him, hurt him, do all those kind of things. That's what I mean by that's really sad. Just that he seemed to be really not at the best way of starting out life, but the fact that his mother did try to do better, I think is really good. And it's clear from what I remember in the other chapters when talking with Luke, that when we got to know more about his mom, that she really genuinely loved her son, but also the fact that we know practically nothing about the father besides him. It's like, oh, I don't have an heir. Well, technically I do. He's not really legitimate, but I'm gonna take him under my wing, that kind of thing. Like, we don't know anything about that. So, yeah. Like, I get the feeling he's a good person in a lot of sense, but, I mean, he's dealt with a lot of shit. But I'm just wondering where this might all go to, is basically what I'm getting down to. Okay, alright. To say that I'm scared of what's happening is a gross understatement. Trouble of any sort is the last thing I want to get home to after a long day at work and a trip to the bar. Okay? And when I see Hanna near prostrate, I can only feel dread. She twitches and seizes, body wound and coiled tight before thrashing, shuddering, and shaking. Like a woman possessed, her mouth falls open, and her eyes roll to the back of her head. What? It has the hallmark signs of a seizure. The symptoms are similar enough. Oh, geez. And that knowledge, the fact that I know this, only makes me feel worse. Oh, it was this. Okay. But to hold her close is all I can do while she thrashes about. I know this is wrong, that I'm not supposed to hold her down, yet I do it out of instinct, reflex even. I'm terrified of hurting her, but I see no other way to keep Hanna from hurting herself. It takes a lot to keep myself from running off to get help when she needs me here. And it takes everything I have to keep myself intact. See, he's being genuine here. I mean, at least in this playthrough. I know you can actually make him into a right asshole, but when she says my name, I realize that the seizures have stopped. But that doesn't make the dread go away.
Luke, please.
Uh-huh.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
A ghost. Clearly.
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
The sight of her tear-stricken face is enough to twist the knife in. It does not help that I'm at a loss as she is right now, and all I can say is,
Shh, it's all right. You're safe now, Hanna.
oh.
You're safe now. Oh,
we start here! I thought thought that was a flashback. Okay. But we start here. Alright. Cool. Okay. I must have sat there in the kitchen, cradling Hanna in my arms for an eternity, until Shirokin and a maid ran in, assuming the worst. I said that horribly. I'm so sorry. She had been screaming, enough to attract the attention of anyone on mansion property. I think it should be on the mansion's property. But that's all well and good in the end, I suppose, as they helped carry Hanna up to our bedroom. I doubt I could have managed on my own. I might have slipped on the stairs and cracked both our heads if I tried. Ooh. How the crap do you say that name? Both Shrocker and the maid Both Shrocker and the maid does a short work of making her comfortable while I sit on the sidelines. I have no idea how long I remained there, just watching them and her. But at some point, after they've left us, the sun has set, leaving the room dark and silent. Nestled in the pillows and blankets, and put on her side, though, Hanna looks smaller than ever. She looks so weak and vulnerable that I can't help but worry. Not to mention the children. Oh, right, yeah, he found out he's gonna be a dad. Not to mention the children. Think about the children. I wouldn't know how such an event could affect babies in the womb. Now seems like a good time to get drunk as any. No. But I just can't. Good. I can't bring myself to leave her side just to intoxicate myself. Not with what just happened. I might just drink myself to death if I so much as tried.
Please, stay with me, darling.
Of course. Anything for you, sunshine.
There's no way I can leave her side without feeling guilty. Besides, what sort of husband and father would I be if I don't take care of her when she's sick? Not that I'm too confident about what I can do on my own. I'm not trained for this sort of thing. Even if I've experienced similar scenarios before, I might still have it all wrong. Well, I mean, when you're a parent, there's not a manual you can just pull out. It's from what you know from your own family experience and how to take in kids, and just personal stuff as well, because you learn it's not magic. So it's just what you go by, what you know, that kind of thing. I've already called our personal physician, along with an obstetrician who knew of her pregnancy, for a house call in the morning. We'll have to go on from there. I don't like to think about it, but I can still remember the doctor's instructions on how to take care of my mother while she was ill. Provide a safe space for her to rest. Check. Let her lie on her side so that she doesn't choke. Check. Oh! His mom had a seizure. Jesus. Loosen tight clothing to let her breathe. Check. Keep calm and don't panic. Well, I'm having a bit of trouble with that one, aren't I?
Do you want any water? Something to nibble on, perhaps? I can call for something to be brought up. Soup would be good, right?
Aww.
I'm fine, Luke. Don't you worry. I'm just a little sick, but I'll get better.
I wonder why there's no image of her here. A pained look crosses her face, and, more than anything, I wish I could take away the pain she feels now. When she beckons me to come closer, to hold her in my arms, who am I to say no? God, so freaking sweet! Ah, this is so cute! They're cute! Damn it! Okay, read. I'm gonna use this for the thumbnail. I definitely want to use this one for the thumbnail. It's so flippin' cute. Okay. Her body still quivers, tiny shakes that make my heart feel like it's going to stop, and give every time they happen too much. I take care to give her room to breathe, no matter how much of an uncomfortable position it puts me in. Her scent is enough to bring me at ease. Golden flowers, marigolds, buttercups, and daffodils. I'm not sure if she smells this way because I surrounded us with them when I can, or because she's wearing the perfume I gave her last Christmas.
There we go. Now, are we comfy?
Oh my god, Luke's voice actor, so freaking good. Give you props, man. She nods her head weakly, a smile barely making its way on her lips. I'd be ready to fulfill any request she has, anything to make this easier for her, anything to make her happy. But when she next speaks, I can feel my breath catch in my throat.
Sing me a lullaby.
Aww.
A lullaby? Of course. I can do that.
I don't think you can. I know I've done so many things in my lifetime that would justify a horrible end. But not Hanna. She doesn't deserve this. This is all far too horribly familiar. To find myself in bed, clutching relatively to an ill beloved, wishing it isn't real and hoping it doesn't get any worse. Yeah, I can relate to that. To find myself screaming at a god I've long abandoned and forgotten. Not her, not again. Take her and you will bloody rule. And you will bloody rule. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. To have a lullaby shared so that we can forget the pain and the fear.
Hush, my darling, don't say a word. I'm gonna catch you a mockingbird.
Huh, okay. Luke's not that bad. I take it back. I can hear her breathy laugh, though she doesn't tell me to stop. If this amuses her, then that's fine. But her breathing soon evens itself out. A good thing, too. And before I know it, she's fallen asleep. If only it would have been as easy for me. I certainly don't envy her. But I don't particularly like how my mind runs right now. Battered and frayed, clutching at straws and asking myself if I'll really let myself fall apart in this moment. It's alarming how the thought of losing her could break me, pregnant or not.
And if that mockingbird don't sing, I'm gonna get you a diamond ring.
I've already lost my mother, the only other woman I've truly loved in my life. And without knowing then, as a young man, that wounded a great part of me. I am aware now of how scarred I am, for lack of a better term. And if anything ever happens to Hanna, well, I don't know what I'd do after the fact. Would the loss drive me insane? Would I become mad and swear bloody vengeance on a world that deserves less than her? Would I end up drowning in sorrow and guilt until I end up drinking one night and figuring a bullet is a good way to go? Oh, please don't. Or perish the thought, would I become like my father? Oh, one who had no further love for anything. Not others or even objects or self. Jesus. How a vainglorious Mongol that worked and worked for the sake of succeeding in the search of happiness that would never come.
And if that diamond ring turns brass, we're gonna go to fields of grass.
For a long while, I was that man, wasn't I? Pursuing gold and glory and nothing else. Bloody hell, I even started courting Hanna for the money her family had. She was a market to be attained. She was a mark to be attained. She was just so bright, and I don't mean intelligent, though she's certainly that too. No, she was bright in a manner that she could bring such sunshine to anyone's dreary life. That is very true. I find that Hanna is such a bright and cheerful individual, and she cares about people regardless of their background. I think that's really good. And there should be more people like her in the world. I honestly wish for that. I thought I would need to put on a mask with her, just like with all the others. But if anything else, she made it feel so constricting, suffocating, that I pulled off the mask on my own. I had wanted to be myself around her, just as she was so willfully showing her real self to those around her. It wasn't some sudden realization. There was no eureka moment. It just happened.
And in those fields where we roam, we'll take daffodils for our home.
I feel like he just added that bit at the end there for himself. That's cute. This is cute. We would meet up and talk about business, but then those could only last for so long after a few dozen dates. We ended up talking about other things, little things that didn't seem to matter so much, inconsequential things that one would end up forgetting in the grand scheme of things. Good food, good music, dogs, the film we just saw, books we've read while we were apart, in places we want to go. Things that weren't important suddenly are. That's very true. It confused me so much. That's a relationship, buddy. That's a real, genuine relationship. But I was happy. And at some point, I told myself that this was the woman I wanted to spend my life with. Then, I would forget that. A lot. It was out of some misguided need to be my own person. To not be defied by anyone else. I refused to put her on a pedestal or make her the center of my universe, married or not. We were our own person, and at the end of the day. But I would forget, too, at the very least, remember that she was there with me.
And if those daffodils die and wilt, we'll still have the home that we built.
She made me better, but I am, still to an extent, still the son of a bitch that has something to prove. I forget it again and again, no matter how hard I try. I'll spend extra hours at the office for something or another, to have favorable stocks, to take care of a debt, something. Sometimes I'll even bring work home if I haven't gone to drink and destroy my liver. Yeah, don't do that. I'll flaunt the riches, some of which aren't even rightfully mine in the first place, and lord myself over everyone else because I fucking deserve it. Because that is how I prove myself. When I don't have to prove myself to Hanna. Sometimes I wonder, had we met under different circumstances, had I grown up a different way, would have all of this been any better? You can only think that, but you never really know, you know? It's hard to understand if it's going to be better or worse or something in between. You can't really go on the maybes and the what ifs, though. It can really hurt you if you do that constantly. And it's sad. Would we be any happier?
Good night, my sunshine.
That is just cute. Now there's a thought. Luke, you're an asshat, but you're a good asshat. Goddamn. Hey, Kylie. Okay. back. Okay. After what seemed to be a seizure, Johannes found the couple in the kitchen and helped usher the weak woman to the master's bedroom. Luke elected to stay with Hanna today to care for her, singing of a lullaby until sleep came over them both. Cute. Oh. Okay, so I guess this is a pass, but I'm surprised there's no there's no voice. Okay. Mummy, what happened? You're wiggling and shaking, and you wouldn't stop, even if I was shouting. I'm sorry I shouted at you, Mummy. Aw.
Shh, don't cry. My little ball of sunshine's not supposed to cry, is he? Don't you worry. Mummy is just a little sick, but she'll get better. I've got a new job now, and I can get medicine again, okay? And we'll buy some bread pudding, too, while we're at it.
Please don't... It's weird not having dialogue. Please don't do that again, Mummy. It's scary.
It's okay. I'm here. You've got nothing to fear. But you have to be brave, too, Lucille. Even when I'm not around. Be brave.
Oh. I choke back a scream and wake up in a cold sweat. With my heart pounding in my ears, it takes a while to remember where I am. Oh. In the dark and the cold of the room, one can't fault me for feeling ill at ease. It isn't as bright as the penthouse, and the renovations did little to change how old it feels. We've been here for less than a week. It'll take a bit more time to adjust. It's hard to feel cozy, though, when I'm bloody freezing. Uh-oh. Nudging the lump of fabric next to me, I sigh.
It's cold. Don't hug the sheets, Hanna.
She always did this though it hardly bothers me. Growing up, I was lucky to have something to use as a mattress. I'm not the one who grew up accustomed to Egyptian cotton with thread count of 800. What? Besides, the warmth that Hanna exudes on her own is usually enough to keep me sleeping through the night. The temperature tonight must be something else with how chilly it is right now. Uh-oh. I must be considerate. After all, the poor dear is ill, though I loathe to think about what had just transpired.
Don't make me pull those sheets off you. That blanket is large enough to cover an elephant. You need to share.
He's so grumpy. It takes a while.
What was that, honey? Apologies. I'm just in the loo, so if you can give me a moment.
Oh shit. There is no sign that they'll be moving where they lie. With care, I go for a knife hidden under the side of my bed. It would be foolish of me to instigate anything while I'm unarmed, after all. To pull back the covers would be a more difficult affair, because reaching out to uncover who was underneath, I have to prepare for anything and assume the worst. Yeah, good to be prepared. Oh god. If I so much as see the nozzle of a gun, there's going to be a murder tonight. Oh god, not with your wife in the loo, come on. I know they say not to bring a knife to a gunfight, but I think I can sink a blade in his liver faster than he can point and aim. I see the rise and fall of the sheets, although it could easily be mistaken as the fault of the breeze. I hear their breathing. A great sense of foreboding comes over me, making me hesitate with my plan. I should just get Hanna and myself out of here, to not look back and let security handle it. That's what they're for. Or maybe I should just man up. There's no way I'm risking the chance that inaction will put Hanna in danger. But what's the worst that could happen, right? I've no reason to be afraid. There's no boogeyman under the bed, no monster in my closet. If anything, there's things that should be afraid of me. Right? I grab a fistful of sheets and throw them aside. Oh, the animation! Nothing. Oh, God. Ah, Jesus. Okay, 1 second. Luke woke up in the middle of the night with a scream and in cold sweat. Finding comfort in the warm body next to his, he tried to get up to sleep and forget the images plaguing his mind until Hanna called out from the loo. Oh boy. Nothing. Nothing but a bunch of pillows stare back at me. Must be my imagination. I'd rather not think I'm going mad. It could very well be all the stress getting to me. All the drama with Hanna. I've been doing well these past years. I've been doing well all these years. All things considered. I guess I do have a breaking point. But still, the world goes on, even if one cannot, and I must go along with it. I suppose a day off or two tomorrow wouldn't hurt. Rest, aside from a few hours of sleep, would be welcome, more than. But I can't shake off the unease. I dare say that I feel afraid, irrationally, so that something will come creeping and crawling from under the bed, even as I lay back down and close my eyes. The odd dreams don't linger, thankfully. But the morning comes, and another disturbance. Both too loud and too sharp for my tastes. Oh, right. And I have very fine tastes. When the piercing rings of the doorbell reaches even the bedroom, I'm very much inclined to think the person who built this place lacks any sense of it. Perhaps the only thing in this is that the ruckus has chased away the needling guilt from last night's commotion, if only temporarily. Still, it's a bloody annoying distraction. I can tell already that it's going to be a long day. It hasn't even started. Before the racket even lasts another minute, I'm peeling myself off the bed and heading straight to the main door. There will be a murder today, if it doesn't let up. Oh, geez, dude. How quaint. It seems everything in this blasted universe is intent on getting in my nerves as of late.
Gordon Bennett! Only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour!
In the first place, I shouldn't be the one doing this. This is why I hired a valet, for fuck's sake.
Where's that damn butler when I need him?
Making breakfast? I don't know. I'll be honest, if only for today. With the mansion this quiet at this hour of the morning, it's easy to believe those little ghost stories might be real. But the only horror here is the news Hanna's has brought forth yesterday, and the very idea of me being a father. Whoa! Oh, you big! I'm gonna be at this for a bit. Neither the deafening silence nor the biting chill spreading across every room in the place. My wife is pregnant, bloody bollocks. There's no place for fear when another set of problems already burns that fuel. So I wait for another second. When no butler still answers my call, I simply yank the doors open myself, perhaps with more force than needed. Ah, yeah, right. Maybe it should be appropriately there, considering the person on the other side and the hour he dared to appear on my doorstep. Even someone with half a brain knows not to disturb anyone this early. Well, unless it's really important. Brief confusion quickly gives way to anger, and before the bloody photographer can even get a word in, I'm hurling venom at him. It's less than he deserves, really. Hanna will disapprove, scold me for threatening the photographer with such disrespect if she hears me right now. She seems fond of him, after all, despite meeting him only once or twice. He's merely doing his job, she'll say. But she's not here, is she? What she doesn't know.
You? How the hell did you get in here? What in 7 hells do you want? It's bloody 6 in the morning!
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time! Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't!
This is still my home. My rules also apply to this place as much as Hanna's do. As simple as that.
Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep.
It just so happens it's also a person I will never take a liking to. No need for remorse.
Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
He continues shouting, even as I slam the door in his face. Some nonsense about the news lately, although I don't understand most of it. However, with the closed door muffling the better part of it, with no ears to listen, his tirade doesn't last too long. Eventually he leaves, and silence once again fills the room, as it should. In hindsight, maybe I should just call another psychiatrist service. He certainly sounds mental just screaming like that. A suspicious man like him left roaming the immediate grounds? Nothing good can come of it. But if his presence will indeed bring a problem, a sign of bad things to come, I'll probably know soon enough. Worst comes to worse? I can't say Johannes his name. I'm so sorry. Johannes will take care of it, if need be. I'll just use Johannes. It's what I'm paying him. It's what I'm paying him for. In the meantime, the bigger problem at hand. It's on a whim that I've chosen to cook. Oh, you cooked. Okay. Sure, I have a lot of other things I could have done instead, but cooking distracts me, and I don't find it relaxing on the rare occasion I step up to the task. Oh, that looks good. Kidding me? That looks tasty. It's toast, boiled eggs, what is it? On the tray, 2 plates of roti paired with spicy beans, boiled eggs, hash browns, and bacon, topped off with peppers, courgettes, and I can't say that. Still, that looks tasty. I can't get back to sleep after my abrupt awakening earlier. Although I did think about drinking to get some more wings. I've changed my mind at the reminder that my very pregnant wife is sick in bed. I love my alcohol, no doubt, but there are times when even I shouldn't drink. Yes, that is true. As it is, I'm running on nothing but 2 cups of coffee. The surprise on Hanna's face is apparent the moment I step into our bedroom holding the breakfast tray. But it quickly changes to a look of delight as I place the tray on the bed.
Good morning. What's all this then? Oh, that does smell good.
I made breakfast. In hindsight, I probably should have prepared something a lot healthier for you.
Oh, don't you fuss. This is absolutely perfect. A little grease isn't going to kill me. Feels like forever since I last had your cooking.
I don't see what you're so enthusiastic for. I'm no master chef. I won't be too mad if you tell Johannes to cook something else for you. That just means more for me, of course.
I can't wipe the grin off my face when Hanna takes a bite and looks like she's enjoying what I've made. Oh, she looks so happy. It would be a lie to say I'm not glad or proud that I can make her happy. Though perhaps I've been able to do that as of late. But Hanna needs me now, and that counts for something, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't think I can finish this all. But I should, shouldn't I? After all, I am eating for 3.
I feel a terrible pit in my stomach at the reminder. I tried to fill said pit with food, anyway. But bloody hell, I don't think I'm ready to raise a child, let alone 2 of them. There's nothing else that can be done other than to steel myself for fatherhood.
Speaking of you three, what did Dr. Hobbs say? How are you and the babies?
The physician took some of my blood. I'll go through some other tests tomorrow to make sure we're fine. I know how you hate hospitals, so I asked Johans to drive me there. That way you can have some alone time with Kylie too.
Admit it, you just want to leave me alone with a little tyke without any backup.
Don't be like that. You'll do fine, I'm sure. And she'll love spending the day with her fairy godfather.
Of course, I can't just look at it like it's practice. Blech, I can't read. Of course, I can look at it like it's practice. I do want to be a good father, right? Well, clearly, you love your wife. At least in this playthrough. Not like my own. Though I don't think any practice being a parent would have helped him. He hadn't cared about the son he sired until he learned that he was ill and was not long for this world. Oh, okay. Even when he did find me, he still cared little. I definitely do not want to be like Damien Wright.
I'm just worried about the children, Hanna. I know you can take care of yourself just fine. You're one tough cookie.
Yay, went up. Whoa, 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 let me go back. Whoa, dude, you look evil in this. You look like such an evil son of a bitch. Oh my god. Okay.
Look at you, already becoming a great father. One day, when the kids are all grown up, I'll tell them the story of how their dad is being a great big worrywart. Just leave being pregnant to me, alright?
My hand moves to Hanna's stomach, which has yet to grow too much beyond its usual size. There is some pudge, hidden well behind her dresses. I'm half expecting to feel something, perhaps a kick. They always talk about how that sensation cements everything, proof of life that goes beyond a growing belly. But of course, it's far too early for that.
I still can't believe it, you know. I didn't think it would ever happen. We're going to have kids.
Oh. Shame. I certainly need grounding. It would help me get my head around what's going on.
How are you feeling about all of this?
I don't know how to feel, actually. I worry. Worry is the first thing to come to mind, and I don't think I'll ever stop feeling that. That's what brought this on, isn't it? And it would be awful for me to say that I'm not happy at the news, excited even. But that all did not stop me from feeling the same fear I had when Hanna first told me of this. I was so afraid. Still am. Oh, that's normal. Of course you'd be afraid when you find out you're, oh my god, I'm going to be a parent. You know? Of course, I've never had kids. I wouldn't know. I just know from, like, my mom and my dad had told me in the past, so it's a jarring thing, especially when you're having multiples. And I know this because I am one of 3. Yeah, triplet. Anyway, so, I never gave thought into being a father until now. But I'm already afraid of them, their safety and the world they would find themselves born into. I'm afraid of them because of me, the bastard who will be their father. The only conclusion that comes to mind is the fact that they'll have someone like Hanna as their mother. Like I told Miss Pink, I never wanted to spawn anything. Well, you spawned 2 things. How's that? Though I truly did not mean to call a child, even an unborn one, an abomination. Of all the people in this room, I'm the one closest to being a monster, after all.
I'm alright. You're good, so I don't see why I shouldn't be. I'm not the one carrying a pair of brats around in my belly, am I? Just think about it. 2 tiny humans are inside of you and you're going to swell up like a watermelon.
delivery of that. Oh my god.
If you can get through this, so can I.
Good on you, Luke. I'm afraid. But the smile that Hanna gives me is enough for me to believe that everything will be fine. We eat the rest of our meal in companionable silence. And if I shovel some food off my plate onto Hanna's, she makes no comment on it.
Come on then, Sunshine. Eat up. Can't have any of you starving on my watch now, can I?
I say it in a joking manner, but I am entirely serious about making sure they didn't starve in every sense of the word. I know it is an impossible... I know it... can't read. I know it is an impossibility to be lacking when it comes to food, with how well off we are. But there are other things a person can be starved of. That's very true. Affection. Attention. I can probably think about a third word that starts with the letter A, but I digress. I can't. Soon enough, our plates are clear and I put them away. There is no objection to it either, as a quiet yawn escapes her lips, and her eyes start to droop. Indeed, the urge to sleep is high after having a full meal, and with an inviting bed. Come Sunday morning, Luke continued caring for his sick wife, going as far as preparing breakfast for her, putting a smile on Hanna, even more when he admitted worrying about their children's well-being. When sleep had taken her once more, simply left her to rest. I'm quiet as I can be when I make my exit, tray of food in one hand. Oh, hey, Johannes. Which I am quick to pass off to Johannes as soon as I see him.
Johannes, look after her. I just need to get out.
Stretch my legs, clear my mind, think. I don't think having screaming, crying babies will give me much time for that once Hanna gives birth.
Is everything all right? Should I be worried?
Everything is good. Really. Best I've ever felt in quite some time, I think.
Good.
Well, I think that's cause for concern. Shall I expect to find a corpse in need of cleanup?
Dude, don't ruin the moment. I can only shake my head and grin, the deadpan delivery both amusing me and making me wonder if he is joking or not. I don't know. He is a mystery. It can easily be half and half. There has been an instance or two where that did happen. Oh, geez. But I don't give him an answer. Let him keep guessing, and just step out for a breath of fresh air. Gray skies loom over the horizon, though the sun fights for every precious minute it gets to stay. It'll rain again soon, when the wind bringing along the gloomy clouds normal to Luxborn. Until then, it doesn't hurt to be out here for fresh air and sunshine. I walk to the gardens, with little of it there is at the moment anyway, and kneel by the daffodils. Oh, pretty. These were the first to be brought here and planted on my request, and if nothing else, they brought in the sense of peace. They were my mother's favorites. Closing my eyes, I lift my chin to welcome the sight of that sunshine that shines upon me. And for a minute, I can imagine myself as one of the flowers, peaceful, blooming, and all too happy to stand in its warmth. Life would be much easier if we were all like flowers, wouldn't it? But I didn't step out to get all philosophical. I have problems much more practical than figuring out the meaning of life. After all, technically, the meaning of life is actually the number 42. You know that from a giant supercomputer calculator thing that was done like several years ago, but they could only have it brought out in numbers, so the meaning of life is literally 42. What that means, we don't know. But there you go. Too many things have gone on these past few days. And I want to forget them, even for just a moment.
It's almost All Saints, isn't it? To think I've almost forgotten.
I speak the words absent-mindedly. The date means nothing to me, as I neither worship the religion nor have any graves to visit. After all, Mother was never given a proper burial. Oh my God, what? Why? But it's a date, as good as any, for me to grieve. Otherwise, I would have done so every single day, crippling myself and shutting everyone else out. I can remember how the flames licked at her flesh and how it consumed her body, until there was nothing left but ash. I stood there watching the operator and the social service worker. Though I could have been alone for all I cared, I felt alone. It was the most that could be done. No one would attend the funeral of a dead prostitute, let alone pay for it. All that is left of her, proof that she had lived, is her name written in the ledger of Luxbourne Cemetery, a lighter in me. Pulling out the lighter from my jacket, I can't stop myself from flicking it open to stare at the flame and run my thumb over her name. Eleanor. It's a good name. All in all, it isn't much, but it's something. And it'll be wrong of me to make something of myself when she would have given everything to make sure I can become anything I want to be.
Feels like I'm stuck in a nightmare right now. What I would give to have you here by my side, Mother dear. To see you smiling at me, alive and as beautiful as ever. I'm afraid I'm starting to forget what your face looks like. I've already forgotten the shade of your hair.
That's hard. Eleanor Chandler was a wonderful woman, though not everyone would have agreed. Not everyone has seen her past occupation, past her vices, and her illness. All they saw was a poor woman who sold her body to make ends meet, and had a bastard son because of it. They didn't see the mother who worked hard to put food on the table for me, the woman who gave and gave and gave to me while expecting nothing in return. She taught me the merits of hard work, but though I loved her so, I worked hard for myself. I would not be so foolish, so selfless towards people who would never give back. I learned that from the father who plucked me out of an orphanage for his own selfish gain. I pocket the letter before I can feel the urge to actually set anything ablaze. Considering my close proximity to the flowers, they would be the most likely victim of arson. Just the thought of itself is blasphemous. Nevertheless, that doesn't save them from being picked. Just enough to make a bouquet of the things in honor of Eleanor.
Would you be proud of me if you saw me now, Mother? Maybe. You're always so forgiving. No matter what trouble I got into, more than I deserved. Especially now.
Okay, again, props to Luke's voice actor. He gives such emotion in this. You can feel it. I feel it. It's really, really good. It's been a while since I've talked to my mother like this. I've been thinking of both my dear parents far too much as of late, when I shouldn't. I have a future to look forward to, and the present to take care of. These memories of the past have nothing but grief. Life of Lucille Mitchell Chandler should be nothing but a footnote in Luke Wright's non-existent autobiography. It's because of Hanna, isn't it? I worry that she is all too much like my mother, that it scares me. And the thought that I am turning into my father is even more so. But even if history is set to repeat itself, I'm not a child anymore. Content to sit aside, unable to do anything to help, and too inexperienced to think that the worst wouldn't happen. I have money to buy the best medicines and doctors if need be. She'll get better. She has to. And once we get over this little bump in the road, I can stop worrying. All will be right with the world. Unfortunately, my time alone is cut short, though.
I think those flowers look beautiful, my lord.
Oh, crap baskets. Okay.
The parlor, the room where the lady stays for her tea, it could certainly use some.
The voice is not familiar, though. I'm not really one to remember such things. Is this the ghost? Like the actual ghost? Oh my god! It is! Oh my god. And she's pretty. Well, no, of course she's pretty. But she's not dead looking. Yes, I should say. Duh. Going with her attire, I would say that she's one of the housekeepers. Strange, considering I've sent all the staff but Johannes away. And her face, as pretty as it is, it's unfamiliar to me. It would be a lie if I said that it didn't set me on edge. Most would say that I cared little for my employees. That isn't entirely untrue. However, I'd like to think I know the people who work for me, especially those who would roam my home, even if it's just a face and a name. Besides, I would remember a beauty such as her. So who is this? If she is someone impersonating a household staff to get in, she's doing a bad job of it.
Didn't you get the memo? Are you new? Today is a day off. You aren't supposed to be here.
I expect poor excuses and apologies the likes of her often give, but she merely smiles.
Oh, no. I've been a servant here since you first came.
And I see no signs of lying, nor hear it in her words. Yet they can't be true. But I find that I feel like I can relax. She has the sort of smile that make one's kindness shine through without words or action. It reaches her eyes, filling with a strange sort of mirth, as if she's just thought of something very funny. Perhaps if it had been any other person, I would have interpreted it as a deceitful grin. But the curl of her lips and the shine in her eyes are too soft to hold any malice. She takes my silence as a sign that she can continue. And it is not like I feel any urgency to stop her. I'm not really in the mood for company. But I'm not advised to it at the moment either. Entertaining a beauty like her, even for a little while, wouldn't hurt. It helps that she proves easy to listen to, despite how oddly she speaks.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have bothered you. Look at me, talking to the master of the house without even asking for permission. What will the others think? If you'll excuse me, I'll just...
I haven't driven you away yet, have I? And it's your day off. I don't see why we can't chat a bit.
Of course. If that is what you wish. As long as it does not get you into trouble with the lady. To even take time for someone as lowly as me, No wonder that everyone under the mansion's employ is so fond of you. Though it should have no longer been a surprise to me. You have always been such a kind and loving lord.
Dude, realize! Realize! I have to stop myself from calling her out on her shite. It's almost as if she's talking about an entirely different man. She is! No matter how big my ego gets, I know for a fact I'm hardly the running for Best Boss of the Year award. The only reason that most of my staff stay is because of the decent compensation. I'm not cheap. But if she wants to lay it on thick, I'll allow it. Who wouldn't want a beautiful woman complimenting them?
I'm sure she'll be fine with this. We are just talking after all. Unless you had other things on your mind when you approached me.
Bruh, no, don't. The words leave my mouth before I realize what I've said. I panic a bit. Though I can get away with picking up women out of the city, sometimes even out of the country, I've always taken care not to do so in my home or in my businesses. Not when it'll be so easy for Hanna to find out about my infidelity, though through these channels. Though seriously, I still don't see what the big deal about it is. I just have an itch I need to scratch. Dude, no!
I know it must be amusing to see a girl flustered for a man of your stature. But please don't say such things, my lord. I saw you alone and simply thought you could use some company.
Thankfully, and I don't count my lucky stars, it seems the woman takes it as a joke rather than the casual pass it was intended to be.
So how are you liking your work around the mansion? The place is wonderful, but I imagine the upkeep is ungodly with all the rooms and whatnot. I don't even want to think about how many people are on the staff roster.
Probably a lot.
Work is work, my lord. It is a way of living, a purpose from day to day. It is certainly far better than doing nothing or having no food to eat. The house itself is also beautiful. There's no lack of things to look at. I'm sure you've seen those books in the study. I can't read any of them yet, but if given the chance, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be thinking of those things.
Whoever voices her is also really, really good.
Especially when the rains, they might bring more work to us soon. It will definitely be much more difficult when it returns. Idling about is the least I should be doing.
I guess you can put it that way if you want to be brutally honest about the whole thing. And the rain shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully. Maybe.
If a little dreary, at least she doesn't beat around the bush. I like the honesty. Many would bemoan their status as a household staff, as a janitor, or other menial role, and believe themselves to be of greater things. And I would not begrudge the idea that one can always get better. But one shouldn't be so discontent with what they have either.
The rain is something I simply must get accustomed to, if I am to live here. I've not spent long in this place after all, but I have been told that it has rained in this nation since a mother's time and their mother's time. There is little we can do about it. I am just glad to have time in the sun, even for a short while.
Isn't that the truth? Really, these sunny days have been welcome, though I can't imagine they'll last for long. Sometimes I just want to pack my things and leave for somewhere like, say, the Bahamas or whatnot. Get some sun and surf.
She's not gonna know what that means.
But certainly, you will return for us, won't you? This is your home, after all. Your people, they won't be pleased if the master of the house leaves.
Of course, I can't very well leave my businesses hanging here, can I? I just wish I could actually trust people enough to go on vacation without taking work with me. I've also got to get back here if I ever want proper meals. A proper pudding is something you'll never find out there.
The woman nods in understanding, and I must say that she makes for a fine listening ear. Though what she says next gives me pause, whether she meant for me to hear it or not.
And good tea. From what the cook has been telling me, I've yet learned how to prepare one. Perhaps once I do, it would endear the lady of the house to me. I never expected her to be so unkind after what she did for me. Though it's only if one catches her in a foul mood. I wish I knew how to avoid her anger.
I hardly doubt she means Hanna. The woman rarely has a mean bone in her body. That woman rarely has a mean bone in her body. And when she is actually is nasty towards someone else, it's usually deserving, though. Enough. Much like with that Rochelle woman. Hell, she even tolerates Harvey for me, even if she did admit that she doesn't quite like the man. She must mean the head housemaid, right? I have to laugh at that. Not that I have no room to speak. I don't deal with her myself anymore, though even Johannes has a few choice words about the head hag. Ugh. She's been under the right employ when she was also head housemaid for my father. And if anyone's not going to get along with someone, it'll be that crotchety old woman. I don't even remember her name. But the woman had been this strict, upstart bitch, who took one look at me, her master's bastard son, and turned her nose up, as if she were better by a mere consequence of birth. Nice. That, and she absolutely loathed my very existence. Perhaps the rumors had been true. She had a miscarriage while bearing another one of dearest father's children, and she saw me as an obstacle for her being granted a better standing in life. I remember that much at least. The only reason I haven't sacked her yet is because of her competence. Also because working under my household makes her absolutely miserable. Her resignation made impossible by her pride.
Nobody really gets along with that woman. I think everyone just tolerates her because of how old she is. I mean, not to be rude or awful or anything, but she's at the age where she'll be pushing daisies soon enough.
Is she? Really, my lord? I'm sure the lady is much younger than that.
I think the thought of tormenting the young and beautiful gives her reason to live.
It does seem that way. Though I feel sorry for her. One's life should not be wasted away on hatred and anger. It is never good for the heart or the head to always carry ill thoughts. But at the least, you are here for us. We are certainly so lucky to have a lord like you. The lady even more so. The gods smile down on her. Though, if I may be honest, she is to be envied.
Even when I have my suspicions about her, she's just so easy to talk with that I've forgotten. I don't know who she is, and if she's actually one of the household staff. That would explain why she would so easily give obviously wrong statements about my character. Though if she is here for malicious reasons, she would have done more than do small talk with me by now, wouldn't she? I have so many questions. Perhaps curiosity will kill this cat.
It's strange that I've never seen you before. What's your name?
You do not remember?
I don't believe you've mentioned it, or am I missing something?
You still cannot comprehend it, can you, my lord?
Her answer chips away at the good mood I'm starting to get into. I have every right to be angry at the cryptic reason she threatens insubordination with her very presence alone. But instead of hurling vitriol at the woman, I take a deep breath. I do not want my mood ruined further than it already is. Not right when I can. And let my temper take its course another time.
Whatever your name is, and no matter how long you've been working for us, that does not change the fact that you shouldn't be here. I'll call you a cab to bring you to the city if you want.
Shouldn't I? What if I do not wish to leave?
Uh-oh.
I merely desire to stay by your side and serve. Is that such a deplorable thing?
Don't change. Don't change. Don't change. Please. Ah! Goodbye, good feeling. Her gaze sends chills down my spine. It's too easy to see the devotion, the obsession in her eyes. Not the good sort, either. As her scrutiny makes me feel like I'm laid bare. The offness of her presence is all the more palpable, with the feelings of bugs crawling on my skin and the silence that makes it seem as the world is stopped. A friendly atmosphere, any friendly atmosphere we might have had going for us, completely forgotten. Danger. A small part in the back of my mind screams. The part that has kept me alive all these years. And in hindsight, I'd be stupid not to take heed of it. But I've grown arrogant, complacent, and content to hide behind wealth and power.
Yes, it's a deplorable thing, as you said, because I'd like to be alone now. Thank you very much. If you didn't want the day off, you should have reported to your superior. This is utterly unprofessional of you, and I shall be issuing complaints. In fact, if you know it's good for you, you should start looking for another employer.
It's at my threat that the smile on her face turns tight. Uh-oh.
I see. It escapes you still. This is unfortunate. How despairing that this misery must go on. But maybe, if you come with me, I can help you. I can...
When she reaches out for me, I recoil with a hiss.
How dare you lay your filthy hands on me without my permission? I am not going anywhere with you. Now step back and walk away before I have you forcibly removed.
Jesus! Yep. Shit. God damn it. As if a switch had been flipped, the woman's expression turned horrific. Although that may very well have been the understatement of the century. Yeah, no shit! She herself turned horrific. Her presence suffocating, bearing down on me. I'm rooted on the spot through no fault of my own as my fear paralysis.
You are too much like that vile woman, poisoned by her rotten influence and her filthy words. But that can be remedied now that you're here. Oh, how we have waited to welcome you home. Come, my lord. The house beckons.
When her fingers grip the back of my coat, I finally find it in me to break off into a run. Yep, book it. Book it. Just go. I can still feel her eyes on me as I run back to the house. Huh, strange, she doesn't have the necklace on here. Wanting some alone time, Luke excused himself, lingering in the gardens as he remembered the memory of his late mother. Suddenly, a beautiful woman appeared by his side, striking up a conversation with him. It was all pleasant at first until she changed into the ghost. But I refused to acknowledge it, let alone look back. All I need is to get away from her and make sure she stays away. That means acting like a coward and seeking out company to keep me safe. Nobody can tell me to do otherwise. Bravery isn't something to be lauded if it comes along with stupidity. Yeah. I think I might end it here. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll end it here. Well, we got the start of Luke's story, which is pretty good, but at the same time, holy crap, we saw the ghost! And I think I remember Kylie saying the name of the ghost, Sachiko, something along the, starting with an S and ending with the ko sound of a name for Japanese, because she was wearing the necklace. So, yeah, just trying to figure that out. But, holy crap, we got stuff. We got inside Luke's head, and at least in this playthrough, he's not a complete asshat. And I could actually resonate a lot with a number of things that he had said throughout, with the loss of his mom and just not really being able to fully comprehend it and just or coping with it, because with the loss of a family member, it's with you for life. It's not just something you can easily get over. It will never be something like that. But holy crap, though. That was something. I feel like I should have ended it maybe a little bit earlier when he left when he got outside of the house. Probably should have, but whatever. Still, hope you guys liked this episode of The Letter, and hope you guys will stick around to see more of it when it comes out. And I hope all of you guys have a wonderful night, day, week, whenever you are watching this, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys!